Dilip, let's say Chhattisgarh, we're putting a pause because as Karthik explained, there's a contradictory set of numbers coming in from the two sources. But the big picture is that Madhya Pradesh, Kamalnath is going to be devastated. Madhavan said he has been the biggest political disaster of this campaign. That is Madhavan's words, not mine. If you switch to Rajasthan for just a moment, can I go back to Rajasthan? Somewhere where I can see the Rajasthan numbers. Rajasthan, the BJP is leading in 117, while the others are sizable. And Gehlot may have been counting on the others as 16. If the gap remains what it is, 117, Rajasthan, I need to stay on Rajasthan, guys. I need to stay on Rajasthan. Give me the Rajasthan slide. If it remains this gap, then the others don't matter. Politically, as Salman said, joyous news out of Telangana, but pretty devastating news out of Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, I think they knew that they were going to not make it. Dilip, what's the big take? And then Madhya. Yeah. No. Hang on, Dilip, I can't hear you. Yeah. I can't hear you, Dilip.
Okay.
Yeah, I can now. Yeah.
The big take is Madhya Pradesh. It looks like everybody who was betting on Kamalnath's ability to manage elections and produce numbers are looking shocked at the moment. I know, and we're all saying this several times with the usual caveats, but Madhya Pradesh looked a lot better for the Congress in terms of the campaign they ran and the confidence they projected. So was this all a chimera? And has Mamaji once again shown that he may be tired, but he is not going to retire? For him, the big message is going to be that it's a message which probably will disappoint others who are waiting in line. But if he manages to pull this government back into the seat, then that is probably the single biggest message from this election, because he is going to emerge, despite efforts by his own party, as strong and long-lasting. And this will change, to my mind, the post-2024 scenario also. Because
in what way? In what way?
In the way that he will become a serious contender for definitely being number two, if he's if he's willing to hold his horses at this point of time. And I think that the efforts to try and replace him as chief minister politically may be tricky now. This kind of upset that he is demonstrating on the ground here. As far as Rajasthan is concerned, I want to just make this observation that the pundits on both sides have been talking about the power of the others. I think that this whole belief that you can fine-tune elections to make sure that the rebels who you put up yourself are going to be the reason why you will eventually win is, again, a false flag to fly with. And I think that that is probably what is going to be the undoing of the Congress as far as Rajasthan is concerned, if this results hold.
Okay, Dilip, stay with us. Madhavan, you wanted to come in. You had some very strong words. You said brand Gehlot was all fluff. Ashok Gehlot hired a branding agency this time, Design Box. A lot of people said that the campaign was all about him. Kharge did his best to iron over the differences within the Rajasthan Congress. But Rajasthan does have a pattern. I don't think the Congress will be as shocked by Rajasthan as it will be by Madhya Pradesh.
Absolutely. Let me put in my caveats there. I was basing my earlier thought about Ashok Gehlot being fluff based on the data that Congress has got only 65 or so seats. If it crosses 80, then it's a moral victory for Ashok Gehlot for three reasons. He has withstood a BJP RSS organizational muscle. He has withstood internal dissensions within the party, and he is also, in spite of Rajasthan's famous anti-incumbency wave all the time, Rajasthan always goes seesaw. If he can get 80 seats in spite of these three factors, then it's a moral victory for Ashok Gehlot. But if your data earlier was correct, because as Winston Churchill famously said, if facts change, you have to change your opinion. How about you? So I'm only a journalist or an analyst, not, I have not been traveling in Rajasthan, which would have given
Yeah.
me perhaps a small additional advantage. So that way, Gehlot is still to call. But most important, the big picture that before I go, I want to say is that Congress has had a minor, or I would say major moral victory in this election. It is successful. Let me put two things together. One is that Congress has successfully, after Karnataka, shifted the agenda from Hindutva to socio-economic issues, forcing the BJP to play ball. But to use a memorable Silicon Valley expression, BJP has learned the art of pivoting. They have pivoted from a Hindutva-oriented cultural agenda into a socio-economic agenda, and that late swing using Ladli Behan, branded schemes, and so this coupled with the RSS BJP organizational capability, which I have already said day before, uh, together give the BJP an advantage, and that's a very striking fact for the India alliance if it goes into 2024 together, which is that BJP is not going to just stick to its agenda and style. But let me assert that Modi's leadership is still under stress. So this is not, they have
Why
been
would
made
you
to
say
work
that? Why would you say that?
because,
Okay, there's some confusion about Chhattisgarh, but imagine for a moment that, and Karthik, I don't know, do we have any greater clarity of Chhattisgarh? No. Do we? No. Okay, but imagine for a moment that they've taken Rajasthan. Okay, that's the historical trend. They've taken Madhya Pradesh, where only one exit poll actually said so conclusively that they would take it, right? And Telangana, they were not a contender. So why is Modi's leadership under stress? And I want to actually take that question to all of our
yeah,
other guests. But quickly,
yeah.
Madhavan. Yeah,
Let me put you that there are five things at stake: issues,
yeah.
ideology, issues, implementation, initiatives. These are the four I's which I'm using to analyze this election, because things have become much more complex. It's not a simple wave theory. So BJP's ideology is under stress, and Modi is seen essentially as some kind of a Hindutva leader. But his implementation, as Nambiar very correctly said, has been very strong. Issues have gone Congress's way. BJP is strong on ideology and implementation, but issues have been quietly shifted by the Congress towards socio-economic themes. That is a good thing for Congress. But with the Ayodhya temple becoming an issue close to the next general election, BJP's excellent campaign machinery might give a positive vibe built around the Ayodhya temple. I've already seen that happening in some way. So that is something that the India Alliance will have to contend with. But it's quite clear that if you take in the Sanatana Dharma controversy and Uday Stalin, which Modi used in his own way, it's not by and large a Hindutva election. It is by and large only a marginal factor. And I don't
Okay.
want to go into the demographics. Bottom line is that 2024 elections, uh, Congress has to really go that extra mile in conceding grounds to both its state leadership as well as allies if it wants to be anywhere near defeating Modi, in spite of the fact that Modi's leadership is under stress.
Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I've got Dr. Gulrez. Yeah, Madhavan, I know you have to go. We'll connect with you
Thank
later.
you.
Thanks very much. Dr. Gulrez Sheikh of the BJP is with us. Salman, I'll come to you right after that. Dr. Gulrez, agar aapko meri awaaz aa rahi hai, I can barely see you. Your first reactions, Madhya Pradesh is looking excellent, but I don't think we can see Gulrez sir. Yeah, we lost him there. So let me take it back to Salman, Dilip, and Sandeep Purohit, right? The analysis will keep happening. We're still waiting for clarity. What's intriguing, Salman, is that the Congress has called for a meeting of the India Alliance on Wednesday. Why are we talking about the India Alliance suddenly? Is there a kind of realization that after Madhya Pradesh, which looks set to go to the BJP, there needs to be a greater banding together of forces? How disappointed are you really? Not to take away from Telangana, which is a very handsome victory.
I think calling for a meeting of the India Alliance is a great thing, because the India Alliance, the main reason for creating the India Alliance is to contest the 2024 general election. That's the main reason we are in this together. So I think these elections are now over. Today is results day. Of course, it is disappointing, to see what has happened in Madhya Pradesh against all expectations. And, I know that Rajasthan, we were not expected to win, But still, I think our team put in a lot of effort there, and to some extent, some of the results that you see reflect that. I remain concerned a little bit about Chhattisgarh, of course, but Telangana gives me a little bit of hope. But the meeting of the alliance, I think we now need to start working on the election. We cannot waste any time, and so I'm glad our party has requested a meeting, and now we need to really have a solid program for the people of the country. But I think one thing is clear, that in these elections, the narrative was set by the Congress party. The socio-economic issues that really are at play. By the way, in each election, the central leadership of the BJP did everything it could to undermine Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Did not even announce his name in the first, list. We sometimes forget these things. And if the results hold, nobody can say that this is Prime Minister Modi's victory. Everybody's going to say that this is Shivraj Singh Chauhan basically saying that, look, I'm still I'm the people of the state.
I want to just bring in Dilip while Vinita Hariharan of the BJP is joining us, and Sandeep Purohit, a senior journalist from Rajasthan, hasn't spoken yet. Dilip, when we were talking earlier this week, you said if the Congress wins Telangana but loses Madhya Pradesh, Telangana will not compensate politically for the Congress if it loses Madhya Pradesh. Are you still holding that view?
Totally. I feel that the loss in Madhya Pradesh is probably the most significant message for the Congress. And you've very rightly, Barkha, asked the question, why have they called for the India Alliance meeting on Wednesday? The fact is that they have recognized, and they should have recognized earlier, that if you want to treat these elections as a dead heat for 2024, then you have to do the alliances in the states. You cannot allow the traditional arrogance of the Congress party to dominate the narrative in states where you think, sound, and expect to be strong, i.e. both Rajasthan, where they should have allied with I know this will shock a lot of political pundits, where they should have allied with the BSP, and in Madhya Pradesh, where they should have allied with Akhilesh's party. I'm not saying that it would have dramatically changed the numbers, but it would have dramatically changed the narrative that going into 2024, the India Alliance is serious work, and this is something that the party needs to send out as a message. Can it send it out on the meeting on the 6th? My feeling is that it is it's a little late to do this, and other leaders will take it for what it is. And does it need to be convened by the Congress? All these are questions that other party leaders will want to ask, given that the Congress hasn't shown the kind of electoral competence if these election results as seen now stay.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I'm sure there'll be reactions to it. Sandeep ji, there are two Sandeeps here. Sandeep Ghosh, good morning, welcome to the program. But we also have Sandeep Purohit from Rajasthan. मैं पहले संदीप पुरोहित के पास जाना चाहूंगी. संदीप जी, अगर आप कुछ ये राजस्थान के आंकड़ों पे बोलना चाहें.
देखिए, राजस्थान में जो इस वक्त आंकड़े आप देख रहे हैं, उसमें कांग्रेस पिछड़ रही है. 67 सीट्स राजस्थान के पास है, लेकिन महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि अशोक गहलोत चुनाव कितना अच्छा लड़ा बरखा जी, लेकिन आपको 3 बार मौका मिला और तीनों बार आप गवर्नमेंट रिपीट नहीं कर पाए. आपकी गवर्नेंस बहुत अच्छी है, सब कुछ अच्छा है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट तो रिपीट नहीं हो पाई तीनों बार. सेम चीज वसुंधरा के साथ है कि वो 2 बार गवर्नमेंट रिपीट नहीं कर पाई. तो ये दोनों लीडर्स के साथ, दोनों लीडर्स बहुत पॉपुलर है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट रिपीट नहीं कर पाते हैं. ये राजस्थान में इन दोनों के लिए सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज रहता है.
आपके मुताबिक संदीप जी, मुख्यमंत्री अगर ये गैप रहा तो कौन बनेगा?
जी, अगर गैप रहता है तो वसुंधरा को प्रॉब्लम आएगी. फ्रंट रनर्स जी, अगर बीजेपी 120 प्लस होती है, इवन 115 प्लस भी होगी, तो अदर जो कंटेंडर्स है वसुंधरा जी के, वो आगे निकल करके आएंगे. लेकिन अगर बीजेपी 110 के ऊपर रहती है तो विन विन पोजीशन वसुंधरा जी की रहेगी.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि अगर बीजेपी का गैप नैरो है तो वसुंधरा जी का चांस है. अगर बीजेपी का विक्ट्री गैप हैंडसम है तो वसुंधरा जी नहीं बनेंगी मुख्यमंत्री. Karthik, Vinita Hariharan of the BJP is with us, Sandeep Ghosh is with us, but go ahead with a quick update.
Yeah, Barkha, the situation with Rajasthan is also very similar to Chhattisgarh in terms of numbers.
What do you mean?
Although the primary source is telling us the gap is 115 to 68, the other source is putting the BJP at 104 and the Congress at 73. The Election Commission website is giving us BJP at 100, Congress at 78 out of 196. So what the gentleman was saying before me, why I'm adding this is because this is very important. If the BJP is stuck between 100 and 110, then Miss Raje comes into the picture. If the BJP crosses 110, 115, then probably not so much. So I think on that number, the clarity is still awaited because the primary source we are following suggests the BJP is around 115. But the other sources, whether it's Election Commission or this other source that we are following, is telling us that the BJP is this tenuous territory between 100 and 105. And Chhattisgarh, the confusion still persists. Two sources, two opposite stories. So we're still trying to reconcile. But Madhya Pradesh, the gap has narrowed in the last few minutes. BJP 139 to Congress is 90. But still, Congress struggling to cross the double figure mark. And Telangana is probably the only state where we have.
Can I summarize? We have Mahima Ji of the Congress joining us as well. But Karthik, please interrupt me if I say this wrongly. Telangana is set to go to the Congress. Madhya Pradesh is set to go to the BJP. In Rajasthan, the BJP is clearly in the lead, though there is some clarity awaited on what that gap is. And Chhattisgarh is the big confusion because the two sources that we're tracking for numbers. Our source is putting the BJP in the lead, but the other source is putting the Congress in the lead. So we do not have clarity.
Although, Barkha, I must say, even our source has been narrowing the gap in favor of the Congress over the last few minutes, with the BJP now 45, Congress 43. The other source is telling us Congress 46, BJP 42. So if the trend continues of our source shrinking that gap, it is possible that the other source has picked up something faster than this primary source of ours. But still, clarity awaited. Clarity definitely awaited.
So clarity awaited in Chhattisgarh, where there's a neck-and-neck fight. The BJP seems set to take Madhya Pradesh. The BJP is clearly in the lead in Rajasthan, and the Congress has swept so far Telangana. This is the big picture. I want the conversation to start.
Can I also add something, Barkha? This might be of interest just because of the personality involved. Madhya Pradesh, Congress is actually doing pretty well in the Gwalior Chambal area, which has something to which is important for Mr. Scindia.
Which is Scindia.
Yeah. The Congress has been swept out of the Malwa Nimad area, of the Bhopal area. The Congress is only saving grace coming from the Mahakaushal area, the Vindh area, where the Congress was supposed to do better this time. Nothing happening. And this if you look at this is all Election Commission data, by the way, so it's definitely not completely up to the mark, but whatever we have. If you look at the vote share, Barkha, Congress 40%, BJP 48.7%. That's an 8 percentage point gap. That is one of the gaps that when exit polls are predicting, nobody was willing to believe. But it seems that exit poll was correct. And if you go by that, then this is huge, because I'm looking at the map of Madhya Pradesh currently, and it's completely rang de tu mohe gerua at this point.
Okay, I want Dilip to start this conversation. There are lots of new guests. Oh, I think Yogendra Yadav also, and I think he's there with us for just, I think Yogendra ji is there with us for just a few minutes. So if with everyone's permission, I'm just, yes. I'm just going to go to him very quickly. Yogendra ji, welcome to the program. I want to start by asking you, picture mein confusion hai. Here's what we know. Telangana is being swept by the Congress, and I think you had written an article saying that it is the untold story of this election. But Madhya Pradesh is set to go to, if these numbers hold, to the BJP. Rajasthan, the Congress is in the lead, but there is some confusion on the final gap because two different sources are giving us two different numbers.
BJP in the lead, Barkha, BJP in the lead, Rajasthan.
Sorry, did I say that wrong? I meant the BJP
yes,
is in the
Congress.
lead.
Yeah,
I beg your pardon. The BJP is very clearly in the lead in Rajasthan, but the gap has to be settled. और छत्तीसगढ़ को लेके सबसे ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन है, जहां पे नेक एंड नेक है और हर राउंड के बाद हमारी एजेंसी के मुताबिक नंबर्स बदल रहे हैं. योगेंद्र यादव, the big picture when you look at this, as someone who's been a convener, national convener of the Bharat Jodo Abhiyan, when you look at these numbers, what would you say?
But as you rightly say, the situation in Telangana is quite clear, and so it is in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh clearly going BJP way, Telangana clearly going Congress's way. In Rajasthan, the only confusion is, only uncertainty as of now is whether BJP will get a clear majority on its own or will fall just short of majority. That's the only confusion part of it. In Chhattisgarh, as you rightly said, there is sort of seesaw. Probably Congress a little ahead, maybe scraped through, but not entirely. Now, if we look at the big picture, Barkha, to my mind, this election was not so much about deciding the BJP's strength. BJP is strong in these areas. The question for BJP was, will it be able to break through Telangana? And will BJP be able to do what it did in West Bengal in Telangana? The answer is no, it's not. In South, BJP is still looking for one proper entry because Karnataka being closed now. In these northern states, the real question was whether Congress will be able to win these elections, all three of which were winnable for the Congress to begin with. In Rajasthan, the fact is that Ashok Gehlot government was popular, so was Ashok Gehlot himself. In principle, Congress could have won this election. In Madhya Pradesh, when I traveled 3-4 months ago, everyone spoke about Badlav. So yes, in principle, Congress could have won. In Chhattisgarh, Baghel had good schemes and some politically smart strategy. Once again, Congress should have won it. So the real question is, why did the Congress not manage to convert its potential strength into real strength in these areas? You could blame, and to my mind, 2 or 3 patterns are emerging. Number one, in the case of Rajasthan, and I think partly in Madhya Pradesh, but only partly, inability to do your ticket distribution in a way that would suit the party. Because in Rajasthan, it was quite clear that there was strong anti-incumbency against the sitting MLAs, not so much against the chief minister. BJP managed to distribute its tickets in a way that was smart and sensible. In Madhya Pradesh, about Congress, you wouldn't be able to say that, especially in Rajasthan, where Congress ended up giving tickets to many of the sitting MLAs, against which it was quite clear that there was strong anti-incumbency. In Rajasthan, again, 2 simple alliances that could have been struck, one with CPIM, another with Bharatiya Adivasi Party, both of which account for at least 10 to 12 seats as of now. At least in 10 or 12 seats, Congress is suffering just because of not having these 2 alliances. These are the kind of things. But the other 2 factors I wanted to mention quickly. One is Congress's inability to connect to the OBC wind. For the first time, Madhya Pradesh has seen a bit of rise of the OBC. This was a great opportunity for Congress. To my mind, Congress failed to tap into that. And 2, both in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, in the Adivasi areas, Congress is doing unexpectedly poorly. These are things that should worry the Congress party.
Can I just bring in Yogendra ji, Dilip Cherian, because just 2 minutes before you joined, Dilip was making the point that the Telangana's resounding victory will not politically compensate for the Congress's bid for relevance and assertion in sort of what is called loosely the Hindi heartland. And Dilip, if you just want to respond to what Yogendra has said, and then I'll take it back to Yogendra and then open it up for the others. Dilip?
I respect, understand, and appreciate what Yogendra just said. And Yogendra has traveled a lot more on the ground than many other people. But I think that the big message for me remains that, leaders like Kamalnath probably are leaders who are not connecting with the people who are undecided, the new voter. And that is a message that the Congress will have to take to heart. They are unable to connect with them. They are getting the kind of people who come out and speak in front of cameras, talk to visiting journalists, but the new voter and the reasonably silent voter is not finding the connection with a certain kind of Congress leader. Is it experience? Is it the need to be on the ground? And you can't blame Kamal for not having been on the ground. This is a battle that he has actually fought squarely and personally and quite strongly. This means that despite that, despite every effort, that battle is not being won as we see the results just now. The reason I mentioned that the Telangana factor is not a compensatory factor is because in Telangana, anyone who has traveled there will tell you that the Congress has been able to cash in on the fact that the division of the state was something that they initiated, and people of Telangana respect the fact that effort, efforts to bring in others, to restore Andhra style politics didn't work in Telangana. I think the Congress did well by staying there.
Yogendra Yadav, if I could come back to you, you made the point about alliances, that there could have been alliances. You made the point about the OBC vote. Something we haven't spoken about is Hindutva. Kamalnath ran a very visibly religious campaign. The phrase soft Hindutva has now entered our political lexicon. There are those who feel that imitating the BJP may not give the Congress results, but it's confusing because in Telangana, Revant Reddy is a former ABVP guy who's now poised to become the Chief Minister of Telangana. So this debate continues. If you were to look at this, are we now looking at a North-South divide in politics? Are we looking at a familiar ideological debate over whether soft Hindutva works? And how concerned are you at the Congress's inability to score in the Hindi heartland while being able to do relatively better in the southern states?
Let's first pick up the southern issue. I have a slight disagreement with Dilip. The disagreement is this, that, if Congress had to cash on the fact that Congress made Telangana, then it should have done 10 years ago. It should have done 5 years ago. The fact is that Congress could not. This time, if the Congress has been able to remind people of that, it is not so much the fact that Congress had given Telangana statehood. The real thing that has clicked is Congress has put in enormous energy. Congress, which was written off. Honestly, a year ago, if you went to Telangana, everyone said BJP was number 2. Congress had been relegated to number 3, that Congress was going to meet the same fate that it had met in Bengal, that it had met in Andhra Pradesh. If Congress could come back from that situation, it speaks about picking a new and energetic leader. It is some credit should go to Bharat Jodo Yatra. Something should be attributed to Karnataka's victory, which has a spillover effect on Telangana, and a lot of energy that Congress put in. So yes, that does have a meaning. And Barkha, responding to what you said, there appears to now be a very clear North-South divide because the gates for South have, in a sense, been closed for the BJP with this last major bid in Telangana not coming the BJP's way. But the real important question that Congress leadership will have to face is about inability in North India, despite very reasonable chances. In Uttar Pradesh, Congress can say, we don't have a chance. Fair enough. In Bihar, they can say, we are nowhere right now. It takes a long time. But this is not what you can say about Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. To my mind, this is not about soft Hindutva. I don't think BJP's victory is a victory of Hindutva. I don't think Kamalnath's failure is a failure of his soft Hindutva line. The simple fact is these were not the real issues. The issues were about projecting a hope to the people. Congress can say that, look, in Rajasthan, it's a standard roti palatne ki baat hai. वो पहले भी होती थी, बार फिर हो गई. But if that was the case, Congress should have been able to, and it is a fact that Ashok Gehlot's government has done much better than Ashok Gehlot did in the last two previous occasions. Because last two
Yeah.
times, not only did he lose, he lost very, very badly, and he's had the dubious distinction of running good governments and losing elections very badly.
So,
It is not
you
so
made,
bad this time. Yeah.
Yeah, you made 2 points. I want to just bring in, I know, Yogendra, you're there for just 5 more minutes, but I want Sandeep Ghosh to come in with one comment, and then I want you to respond to that. You made 2 comments. You said the gateway of the South is closed to the BJP. We have to see what happens in Karnataka, in particular in the Lok Sabha, where the BJP did quite well the last time. And you said the Congress must introspect or think about its inability to score in the North. Sandeep, I bring you in because you, despite being a Modi supporter, were not happy. You were not admiring of how the BJP had run its campaign in Rajasthan. The BJP seems to have managed, nevertheless. Your thoughts of the big picture that's emerging, Sandeep, before I take it back to Yogendraji.
See, Barkha, they say hindsight is 2020 correct, but it's not so, I think, when you're wearing tinted glasses. So some panelists are wearing tinted glasses even while applying hindsight. They're today blaming Rajasthan's Congress's thing on ticket distribution, but if anybody had a problem in ticket distribution, it was the BJP. The kind of backlash they had, pushback they had on ticket distribution, the kind of pushback they had on the central leadership coming into vote, was way, way more than what the Congress failed. So the reasons have to be, you have to probe much deeper rather than just write it off to the ticket distribution and anti-incumbency against local people. There is much deeper factors, and it cannot also be said about Bazi Palatna hai, that sort of a thing. Most, I think the ridiculous argument is to say BJP's doors are closed for South India. Even when Congress ruled Karnataka, BJP had a high score of Lok Sabha seats. And if anybody thought, especially psephologists, that BJP was trying to win Telangana, I don't think they could have been more off the mark. BJP's only objective there was to, they have managed to raise a 6% to 14% or 15%. That's a huge raise. And their objective there was to split the anti-incumbency vote from Congress, and they had to raise their salience in Telangana to be able to make something in the Lok Sabha thing. Their objective was certainly not, I think they would not have been unrealistic to think they would form the government, irrespective of what they would be saying. That they went on putting so much energy till the end was, unless they again raise the salience, they will be out of the race in Lok Sabha, and whatever they will strike, BRS, etc., can happen. So last thing, so therefore, to say so categorically BJP's door is shut in south of India would be as naive. The best Congress can now say is, I think Congress's line will be, Rahul Gandhi put his energy in Telangana, so they have done well. Other places, Gehlot and Kamalnath kept him away, so they have done poorly. That's the next one you'll hear. Congress did not put any less energy in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, especially, you might say Rajasthan. Money power also. Money power in Chhattisgarh. Congress cannot complain that they didn't have the money.
Let me just get a last comment from Yogendra Yadav. We actually have a BJP leader from the south of India while we're talking about this, but I just want Yogendra Yadav to respond to what he's heard from both Sandeep Ghosh and Dilip Cherian. The Modi factor, we haven't spoken about it. Many political pundits thought that the BJP was making a critical mistake, Yogendra Yadav, by sidelining its state-level leadership, whether in Rajasthan or in Madhya Pradesh. If these numbers hold, what it shows is it didn't matter. It just simply didn't matter that the BJP did not declare a chief ministerial candidate. Even more compelling, if Chhattisgarh, and I'm again saying many caveats, Chhattisgarh mein clarity nahi hai, if Chhattisgarh also goes the BJP way, then even more, Raman Singh was such a low-key counter to the high-profile Bhupesh Baghel. So everybody will have to redo their punditry. Do we need to talk about the Modi factor, which we haven't spoken about? Yogendra Yadav.
Barkha, just on Telangana, I wouldn't know BJP's intentions as closely as Mr. Ghosh would, so I would bow to him. My own sense was that BJP was trying to do a West Bengal in Telangana. BJP saw that they had done decently in the Lok Sabha election, that this was the one state where they had potentials to go up further. And the whole strategy, from what I could see last year, was to pump Telangana with money, with energy, with propaganda, and aim for number one and end up with a very decent number two, which is what I thought BJP's strategy was till the time they got rid of their president of the state unit, which is where BJP's entire strategy started going wrong. So I probably don't know as well the BJP as well as he would. I'm just speaking from what I saw the signals on the ground, and these look very obvious signals. At some stage, BJP said, all right, now Congress is emerging, maybe best to give BRS a chance. And BJP did step back. And this is not me alleging this. These are BJP own state leaders saying that, why has my party withdrawn? Why is my party not going straight on the BRS? So that's so fine. Is it permanently a closure of the BJP in South? No. But is it closing of door for 2024? In significant ways, yes, because BJP's Telangana was the one state where BJP had room to grow in a big way in the Lok Sabha election. That strategy has backfired. Karnataka, BJP, I'm not saying BJP would be wiped out in Karnataka, but BJP now has a much difficult task than it ever did. So despite several attempts for a real breakthrough in the South, it's not working out for BJP. That's a fact. But anyway, that does not take away from the bigger story. The bigger story is Congress's inability to convert winnable elections into victory. Yeah, I think Mr. Ghosh is absolutely right to say that the factional squabble within the Rajasthan BJP was much more than the Congress's factional squabble. So we should not blame the factional bit at all, bit majorly. When I spoke of smart candidate selection, it was Madhya Pradesh. I think Madhya Pradesh, BJP showed a certain overall strategy, something that you could not accuse Congress of. In Madhya Pradesh, BJP knew what it was doing. In Rajasthan, I do think that finally this thing of changeover, and this is not my interpretation, this has been happening for the last 30 years. Every single ruling party has been voted out, no matter what. And this required Congress to put in some additional energy, additional imagination. Simply saying we have some wonderful schemes, and incidentally, Chiranjeevi's scheme was a wonderful scheme. And it is really a pity that a government that has had such strong welfare schemes is being voted out. But the simple political lesson is having a good scheme is not enough to win elections. You have to convert that into a message. You have to convert that into political organization, both of which Congress failed to do. And those are the things Congress really needs to think about.
Okay, before we let you go, and very briefly, Yogendra Yadav, as a critic of the government, a supporter, as it were, of the opposition politics, a convener of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you made a very important point. You said the Congress needs to think about its inability to convert winnable elections into victories. Between now and 2024, what's the biggest challenge for the opposition?
Look, what is the real strength of the Congress in North India, in all these states, or in fact throughout the country? The strength is that Congress is the party of the bottom of the pyramid. Congress, at least in whatever votes Congress gets disproportionately larger number of votes from the poor, from the minorities, from the marginalized sectors as SC, ST, and OBC. The difficulty is that Congress's political strategy is not aligned to this reality. So this is the one real challenge. Rahul Gandhi speaks about OBC caste census. Do Congress workers on the ground at all know what caste census is? Do they talk about it? At least I didn't hear them talking about it. Rahul Gandhi speaks about Adani, launches a very sharp attack on crony capitalism. Do Congress's own chief ministers and their own candidates actually carry that forward? At least I did not hear that. So unless there is that alignment of the larger picture, of the alignment of the party with its own vote base, alignment of its policies and its communication with that, otherwise Congress would have the kind of disappointments that it has seen today.
Okay, I think the last point is very important, that are people on the ground even talking about the issues that Rahul Gandhi has made front and central? You named 2 points, 2 issues: caste census and Adani, a Congress-run states looking at Adani in the same way. Yogendra Yadav, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much. We'll see you again later in the day. We are now going to take some of your points to the rest of our panel. I also want to bring in, I know Dilip, we have you for a few more minutes, but Shivraj Singh Chauhan is reacting. Just want to play that out. We had a Congress supporter's perspective. We must have undoubtedly the story of the, in some ways, the man of the match, if there is one, is going to be Shivraj Singh Chauhan, in so much so that Dilip Cherian said that he can now be a contender for the number 2 position in the party. And we need to talk a little bit about Mamaji, who transformed himself into bulldozer Mamaji. Let's listen in. This was a while earlier, Shivraj Singh Chauhan reacting to what is poised to be a big BJP win in Madhya Pradesh.
सर लगातार लाडली बहनों का लाडली बहनों है, कमल का फूल बहनों का आशीर्वाद सिर्फ मध्य प्रदेश में बल्कि बाकी राज्यों में भी।
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी एमपी के मन में है और मोदी जी के मन में भी एमपी है। उनके प्रति असीम श्रद्धा और अगाध विश्वास है। उन्होंने जो यहाँ सभाएं की, जनता से अपील की, वो जनता के दिल को छू गई और उसी के कारण ये परिणाम जो अभी रुझान आ रहे हैं, ये प्रमुख कारण है। डबल इंजन की सरकार।
So what's very interesting, Dilip Cherian, Kartikeya, do you have a very urgent update? Can we unmute Kartikeya, because I have to go to Dilip. Kartik, I can't hear you. You're on mute. So till you sort that out, Dilip, what's very interesting is that
I'm saying it's pretty clear that the Congress has lost Chhattisgarh, it seems.
Oh, that's a big one.
Because from all sources, the same information is coming in. That's why
finally, all the information is reconciled. All right, that's a big one.
Which means, Barkha, if there is no ulatfer from here on, the big headline is the Congress is wiped out of the Hindi heartland because they've lost Rajasthan, they've lost Chhattisgarh, they've been unable to unseat Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Madhya Pradesh. I'll let Mr. Cherian speak and then we have the vote share numbers coming up.
Okay, I think this is a very, very significant news point. We have been reporting all morning that the BJP has been in the lead in Chhattisgarh, and a lot of Congress leaders were contesting our numbers. Kartik says that those numbers are now reconciled between both sources. The BJP is at 50 in Chhattisgarh, the Congress is at 38. In Madhya Pradesh, it's a clear and distinct win for the BJP, and in Rajasthan, the BJP is very comfortably in the lead. So, as Kartik said, the big story, Dilip, the political big story is the BJP is being edged out of the Hindi heartland. If Yogendra says the South is closing its doors for the BJP, some could argue that large chunks of the North are doing that for the Congress.
Totally. And I think that is a very interesting message. If you juxtapose it, the Congress is being wiped out in the Hindi heartland with the Congress appealing for a meeting of the India Alliance 2 days or 3 days from now, I think the message is now emerging as to what the political message for 2024 is likely to be. The message is that the Congress has to ally and be shall I say, a reconciled part of the India Alliance if it is to win back, claw back any space for itself in the northern heartland. And that is where elections of the future, as everybody has said, after any delimitation, that's where the real numbers are going to come from. So unless the Congress bows its head and recognizes that being part of an alliance is the route to victory, that is the way to go. In fact, that brings me to one more little anecdote that a very senior BJP person was telling me just last night, that their best hope in Telangana was that they would form an alliance with BRS that would stand them in good stead. So, when the BJP is willing to think like that, the Congress has to recognize that this is the time to totally change strategy. And I would say that the Chhattisgarh defeat, if that turns out to be true, and since all your numbers, as Kartik said, are lining up for the first time, it is likely that that message will be resonating more strongly when the India Alliance meets.
Okay, I want to take this to Vinita, who's been waiting very patiently, also Mahima. But Karthik, just a brief overview. Madhya Pradesh, are we calling this election or are we still being careful?
I think Barkha, Madhya Pradesh can be called. I mean, I don't see anything happening now in Madhya Pradesh at least. Chhattisgarh, I'll still wait because Chhattisgarh is a bit of a seesaw.